Hello, my name is Temo, and quick trigger warning here. My speech does cover a topic, a touchy topic in today's world, which is COVID-19 vaccinations. With that said, you do not have to respond or interact with my speech if it makes you uncomfortable or if you don't want to. Just take into mind that these are the opinions of Jahan Jones, the reporter, and myself. If these don't coincide with your opinions and beliefs, take them with a grain of salt and do what you will with them. Anyways, on to my speech now. I'd like to start with a question. Who here is 100% vaccinated? Okay. Who here is not 100% vaccinated? Get out. Now, this is the message that the U.S. government has been pushing most recently, and we can see this in the article. Anti-vaxxers will have to pay up if they want to reject public health guidance. This is an article written by Jahan Jones, who is a reporter for MSNBC and is considered to be a modern-day muckraker. In this article, Jahan opens with the FDA approval of the Pfizer and biotech vaccine. He states there that with the FDA approval, this has allowed school administrators and businesses to mandate vaccination for patrons, employees, and students. But he also notes that it's not just small businesses or junior high schools. It's large corporations and the federal government. For instance, within the status quo now, in order to work in the White House, you have to be vaccinated. Otherwise, you're not allowed to come to work or return to work until you've gotten your vaccination. And this is not news. This is not surprising. This was predicted since the beginning of the pandemic, that there would be sanctions or some sort of mandate to get vaccinated. But what's so alarming is the way that the government and these businesses are enforcing these mandates. Jones writes in his article specifically three different things. Number one is that under the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, it is okay for you to be fired for refusing the vaccine. Also, he points to a specific company, Delta. Their CEO came out recently and said that any unvaccinated employee, although you get to still work, does have to pay a $200 monthly fee to cover the risk of hospitalization. And three, Jahan notes that in a report, insurers have begun to stop covering COVID-19 out-of-pocket costs for COVID-19 if you didn't have the vaccination. And so these are all alarming, and this is all part of the article. But why does this matter to us? Specifically to Patty's 11 o'clock public speaking class. Two reasons. Number one is that we're all here for success, and number two is that these mandates directly impact our ability to succeed. So, like I said, we're all here for success. We're all in this room right now to get a degree because we've been told our entire lives that getting a degree, being educated is the key to success. And although we come from very different backgrounds and we probably will go on to do very many different things, we're taking this step together in the same classroom, in the same school, in the same country, a country that could block your success if you're not vaccinated. These impacts directly affect us as students within America because this is an American topic, an American mandate on vaccine, not just through the American federal government, but also American businesses. And so I'd like to point to first the government aid can be, or government assistance can be impacted. For instance, how long will it be before the government refuses to provide you Pell Grant or federal student loans just because you haven't been vaccinated? Also, your work here in America is greatly impacted as well. Right now, a lot of us have to work jobs just to pay for the rest of the school that we couldn't cover with federal loans or with the Pell Grant. And so if you're not vaccinated, that means that your employer can actually fire you, as stated in the article with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. But there are some of us who don't work, not even for the school in a work study. But that doesn't mean you're safe either. You see, it's these businesses, private institutions that have the ability to mandate these vaccines, and if you remember that MVC, Missouri Valley College, is a private institution. This means that they don't rely on the state or their money to exist, which means that even if the state of Missouri didn't force this mandate, MVC could. at any time. And we've seen with the recent mask mandates and that NBC has been trying to put their efforts towards looking good whenever it comes to COVID prevention. So whenever this mandate becomes, it's only a matter of time before this mandate comes into effect here in MVC, where they could either kick you out or just or completely quarantine you away off campus until you get that vaccine. And we saw that in the previous years, online learning wasn't really the best way to learn. And so, these mandate vaccines, this vaccine mandate can directly affect your work life and your education. But it doesn't just stop there. Let me ask another question. How many of you, we're still pretty much kids, young adults. How many of you young adults have insurance? Most of us who do have insurance are either on our parents or, just happen to have a really good plan. But in Jahan's article, he says that roughly 75% of insurers have stopped covering COVID-19 costs. So is your insurer one of those? And this goes double-fold for international students who don't qualify for Medicaid, which is a free insurance for any American citizen. International students aren't offered this benefit, which means that they don't have Medicaid to help at least cover the small costs. And I know that there are a lot of international students here. And so whenever you take into account these impacts, the risk of your government assistance, the risk of your work and education, and your insurance, just because you're not vaccinated, it's clear to see that the obvious choice here is to get vaccinated. Maybe if not for other people around you, then at least for yourself. So that way you can make sure that you succeed and that your education doesn't go down the drain and all the money that you put into yourself doesn't disappear. So I don't urge an affirmative ballot. That's weird. That's debate stuff. Anyways, so it's clear to see, and I agree with Jahan Jones here, that the most cost-effective way to get through this pandemic at the moment is to get vaccinated.